Going live, and we're live. We are live on YouTube. Yay! I've got the fabulous Dr. Rose Wilkerson with me today. And of course, Michelle Matheny and certified tarot grandmaster Pamela Steele is in the house. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about how to get clients as a psychic, medium, tarot reader, numerologist, whatever. Top tips and strategies. And here we are in the beginning of the show. It's kind of quiet in the chat. We'll see what happens as time goes on. We just got started, so everybody's being um, told to come join us on the live on YouTube. Hey, who's got their coffee and tea? Mm-hmm. And Jimmy's in there. Green Earth Creations. Jimmy joined the Tarot Guild yesterday, folks.
Oh,
Yay!
congratulations.
Hi, Jimmy. Woohoo!
Congratulations. Welcome aboard the good ship, Psychic Cafe and the Tarot Guild. Yeah, yeah.
Psychotic cafe. Get that right.
The Psychotic Cafe. Oh, and Pamela, I didn't know if you were going to join us or not today, but guess what? Card of the day comes from your deck. The moon card is the card that I got. Yes. So the moon card, often associated with illusion, fear, and the
Ooh.
subconscious, represents a time of uncertainty and hidden truths. Yeah, things are a little clouded when the moon's out. It casts shadows. It's not like the sun where we have direct light. So it encourages introspection, trusting your intuition, and being aware of potential deceptions. Okay.
Ooh.
It suggests paying attention to your dreams and even programming your dreams to gain
Mm.
insight. So the moon card in tarot may suggest that things are not as they appear and that deeper exploration is needed. So there you go, folks. Card of the day from the Steel Wizard Tarot by who's that lady? Pamela Steele. Don't know. But we have her right here. Oh, of course, I should do the show the deck box because it's magnetic and it is too cool and huge book in there. Oh my god.
None of my stuff is in there.
And we'll do the Eternal Secret Oracle too. One of our other decks. Gotta get that out there. Hey, we should do the Amazon thing.
Ooh.
Um, Psychic Cafe. This is how you get our deck, folks. You go to psychic.cafe/steal, EELE, wizard, and it'll take you right over. And let's see, it is 7% off today. $32.54 for the entire guidebook and 88 card kit, the tarot kit. Yes. So let me put that in the chat while I'm thinking about it, guys. Let me see. Oh, I have it right here. Boy, I'm smart today. I actually put the URLs where I can copy and paste. There you go. Psychic.cafe/steel wizard. If you want to grab a copy of the deck. Okay, card of the day away. And let's see. Mystic Road came in. So we got Jimmy and Mystic Road.
Hi, Mystic Road.
We're gonna
Mystic.
we're gonna wait for more people to come in. Of course, as always, grab your coffee and tea, pull up a chair, let's chat, and you could put your specific question in the chat. We'll get to doing some mini readings, a few maybe later on in the show, and so get your questions in now. Mystic Road is using the pink hand icon,
Ah,
and that's the one you should do. And you can even type in all caps if you want so that we know it's a
question.
reading question. Also, you can ask for a message from the universe if you don't have a
Yeah.
specific question.
Ooh.
We'll pull cards for you. When you're in the chat box where you chat at the far right, there is a emoji button. If you click the emoji, it's the very first emoji, pink hand. Put that up so we know that you are asking a question. That's right. So get your questions in there. Remember, you can grab us a cup of coffee at www.psychic.cafe/coffee. I'll put that in the chat too. You can also do a super sticker now on the channel. And that's right next to the chat box there. You see the dollar sign, it looks like a dollar. Click that. You can send us a super chat. And we actually had one yesterday on Michelle's show. So
That was so awesome. That was fun.
well, I'm hoping that will build up and start happening. I mean, I think you have to get $100 before you can even cash out from YouTube to your account, and we're nowhere near that. I mean, we got super chats, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, a year ago, and we're still haven't hit $100, folks. So yeah, help us keep the lights on.
Right.
Keep the internet working.
Yeah, or just go to our tip page, psychic.cafe/coffee, because none of the revenue then goes to YouTube. It all comes to Psychic Cafe. And so it's actually a better option for us.
Dax, can I make a recommendation? For those of you guys who are in the chat, please click the like button, thumbs up. And also there are these emojis. If you see the emoji, the heart emoji, you can click on that. It gives you a list that you can use. So I'm going to show you right now what that looks like. So if you see those hearts going up, when you do that, it helps the algorithm to get us out there as a live stream. So please like and share and hit those emojis.
And subscribe to the channel.
Absolutely subscribe, definitely.
Help us grow. We're doing pretty good. We're still under 1,000 subscribers, but I think we'll eventually get there. Yep.
And I see in the chat that Jimmy says that they will join us on the Zoom next time.
Oh, good. Yeah, I sent an email with Jimmy's membership certificate because I created the certificate and emailed it to him. And I put in there the link to the Zoom today. I said, you're a member now. You can join us up here. And, if you're, and it depends on have you been reading a while, whether you're like comfortable doing readings, but you don't have to join us. And I don't know if people know this, but we stopped doing the private Zooms and just invited people on these Zooms because it's a perk of being a member. Like, you can join if you have no intention of being a professional reader. You just want to join us on the Zooms because guess what? You get priority. That's right. We take your question first because you're up here on camera and talking to us. If you don't want to be on camera, you can do audio only, but you can join us on the Zoom as a member, and it's like the cost of a latte a month, so it's dirt cheap. And but if you are working on becoming a reader, I think Jimmy is, and you can come up here and we're not going to force you to do readings for the people in chat and stuff like that. You can just come on to ask us questions. I'm stuck on court cards, like Michelle's show yesterday was about court cards, or I'm stuck on numerology and how does that relate to the tarot? And I got this question about calculating your life path number and, what spreads are the best spreads to you? Any question, maybe even an individual tarot card, you want to ask us about the Chariot and, this is confusing. What does this mean? I mean, it's got all these symbols and what the heck? So, and if you're taking my course and you get stuck somewhere, this is also for you students. All you students are able to join us on the Zoom. We have a private group for members because not all the members are in the course, and not all the people that are in the course are members of the guild. So there's private groups for the course and a separate private group for private members. All the links to all the shows you can join us on are in there. Some of the custom shows you can't join us on, like most of Michelle's show. But when she's doing her Crown Chair Saturday on the 4th Saturday of the month, you can join Michelle and pull cards along with her. Yeah. So it's all there on the groups. If you're a student, you can join us here. If howdy, if you're if you're a student, you can join us here. If you're a member, you can join us up here. And Jimmy, we're looking forward. I was hoping you were going to join us today as a surprise to all of us, all the other hosts, because they didn't know that you joined. Anyway, but join us on the next show. So the next show that'll have a Zoom meeting available for members and students will be next Sunday. And we'll talk about what's coming up next day in a little bit. Right now, while we're still waiting for people to come in the chat and ask questions. And oh, there's Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
If you're watching right now, put a wavy hand and say hi to us. We would love to find out who's on watching and listening. But let's get into the topic. And so how to get clients as a psychic medium or tarot reader, top tips and strategies. So where I want to start this off, and just for my other hosts joining me today, we're going to talk about in-person tips and strategies and then online tips and strategies. But to start it all off, it's all about referrals, people. I know people that are tarot readers, numerologists, astrologers, and they make a really good living and they don't advertise at all. I mean, yeah, they're on social media, but I mean, they're not like harping on it or anything because most of their traffic comes through referrals. And email is still king, even 20, 25 years later.
That's true.
I don't know if I calculated that right. How long have we all been doing email? About 20 years, 15, 20 years. Maybe. Anyway, it's been a long ass time. And growing that email list, you want to get something like MailChimp. I suggest starting off with MailChimp because it's free up to, I don't know, 2,000 subscribers or something. I mean, in the beginning anyway, most professional readers, you're not going to suddenly have 2,000 people on your email list. But everywhere, all the suggestions, and the reason why I started with the email list, folks, is because all the suggestions we're going to talk about going forward, whether they're in-person readings or online, that's the thing to keep in the back of your mind. Have your business cards, have a sign-up list where they sign up with their email address and make sure it's legible. Unless you're fancy dancy and you have like on your phone or on, yes, I did get OS 26, which isn't even out yet on my iPhone, or an iPad or, an Android pad or whatever, and where they can like digitally sign up, or just get a list. And everywhere you go, everything you do, get them on your email list. And the idea with email, you don't want to go buy a reading from me, buy a reading from me, buy a reading from me. You want to send out emails. I think what happens is people get overwhelmed. I know I do. My email box is jammed. I'm continuously erasing stuff. A couple of emails, the most I would ever do is every third day, something like that, or a couple of emails a week. You want to give, and I'm not saying in the email at the bottom to never promote your services. I'm not saying that. Of course, put a link to your page, which if you don't have a website, guess what? You can get a free page on Psychic Cafe and put your reading buttons and everything right there. Go look at mine, psychic.cafe/DAX. I'll put it in the chat real quick here. Psychic.cafe/DAX will take you right over to my profile, and you'll see how in the header I promote readings. In the about section of my profile, it has a link where they can go and buy readings, and put that at the bottom of the emails. But you want to give out quality information, stories, tell stories, talk about content that is worth them opening the email, and you're not bombarding them with buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. So Rose, I know you're a social media expert, and we're going to get to social media in the online section, but any thoughts, or anybody else, Michelle, Pam, anybody else have any thoughts on creating an email list in 2025?
I would say, yeah, I agree with you. Email list is the best way to get in contact or stay in contact with people that you have readings for and people who are interested. If you're not sure what to do, there are some, I actually got on a tarot reader's email newsletter from Pinterest. So you can see what other people have done. So if you're kind of concerned about what do you have to write about and whatnot, I get one, I think maybe every 2 or 3 days from her. And I really like the content that she posts. So there are other examples out there if you guys are not quite sure what you want to talk about, because you don't want to just, as
Yeah.
Dax say, just say, buy this, buy that. People
And
want value.
that's a great tip, Rose, that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Look at what other people are doing
Right.
and just copy it. Just make it your own. You're not word for word copying, what they're putting in their emails and what they're putting out on social media, but use it as ideas.
Hmm.
Have a pad of paper and write down, and yeah, an actual pad of paper with a pen. Go old fashioned, because there's something magic about writing it out. I have a book, I have a notebook, and I just date it and I write down all the ideas that I get looking at other people's stuff, and then just put it into your own words.
Right.
Maybe shift the order. Like if they have an email, what do they call that when it's a whole um, order of emails going out?
Series, like a series of emails about
Yeah,
a,
there's a word for it though. A campaign, I think they call it. With a
right.
series of emails. There might be 15
Yeah.
emails, and it goes out over 4 or 5 weeks, and it's
Right.
15 emails. You can take their order and just reorder things, and then of
Hmm.
course rewrite things, add your own emails, stuff like that. Anybody else want to comment on that before we go on to in person? Go ahead, Pam.
What I've been doing over the last month or so, I mean, you're at an event and you're handing out business cards, and most people lose them before they get out of the show. Or
Mhm.
if they get home, they think, who the heck is that? But what I did, I switched to postcards.
Postcards are
Okay.
better.
Postcards are better for multiple reasons. And I got these from Vistaprint. This is Divine Feminine from my Eternal Seeker Oracle, and this is the Traveler from the same deck. And what I did was everybody that come by the booth and said hi or anything else, even if I'm not working it, my husband is. And so what we have on the back is all of my information,
All your information, yeah.
all of it. Do you know not a single person has thrown these out as far as I know because they're reaching out?
Mm-hmm.
And
Not
the
all.
second thing I did that really kind
Mhm.
of simplifies things and makes people think that I really know what I'm doing, which I don't, is the next batch of postcards that I put out. I've got a QR code for my website now, so I don't even have to lift my website because it can be kind of tricky. People can type it in wrong,
Mhm.
but a QR code, scan it, it's done, and it's right there. And that's where I'm loading up things like sign up for my email list is right there. I haven't done it yet because I've been too freaking busy, but there again, it's an idea, kids. If you want to give them something that they're going to keep, postcards. And they're really cheap, like cheap as borscht because they're just cheap.
So that's what I am going to start doing.
Right.
And I'm going to start doing the postcards. And I've been working on my newsletter. And we've had a pretty rough go this past couple of weeks. So
Mhm.
now I'm back into the flow of things and I'm going to get my newsletter going.
Let me piggyback on the back of what Pamela said, because this came up on a recent show. And I said that you can create a list in your on your computer, and of course depending on whether you have Windows or Apple, it's a completely different thing, Mac. And what you're doing is like Pamela, and this is the cheap way versus Vistaprint. By the way, I love Vistaprint. been using
Yeah.
I do too.
been using it for 20 years for my postcards, my business cards, and so forth. But if you want a really cheap cool idea, it's really inexpensive to go out to uh Office Max or something and buy the labels, this with that you can peel off and stick on something. And then you're going to make a document with all of your information, your name, phone number, if business number, preferably. By the way, that's another hint. Don't give out your actual cell phone number. Instead, go on Google to, gosh, I forget what it's called. So I got to click on it. It's called Voice, and you can get a free telephone number through Google, and that's what I've used for 20 years now, 15 years anyway, for my business number. And I have it where I have it on my phone, the app, so it rings on my cell phone like a regular phone call, and I could just answer it. So put that, and of course, you're going to have your website if you have a website. If you don't have a website yet, what did I just say? Join the guild. You'll get a custom URL, psychic.cafe/your name, and you'll have a mini website right on Psychic Cafe. And, that's one of the best tips that we can give out today is you don't have to spend a lot of money on a website. If you do want your own website, message me, because I build websites. I build websites for people. So you put your website, you put your social media links and everything on there. And then you go online and find something that's got pretty art, but is cheap. So you, like this deck, for instance, buy yourself a tarot deck now for $5, $8. Sometimes you can find them for $2.50 on Etsy, or Alibaba, or all these places you can get really cheap. It doesn't have to be Waite Smith. It could be another deck of some. Now you've got 78 cards that you can hand out, and it's not like a business card where they're going to throw it away. So what you do is you print off all those labels, you peel the labels off, you stick it right on the back of the card. And when you're out and about, oh yeah, I'm a tarot reader. Wait, let me get my deck. Here, pick a card. And then they pick a card, and you look at the card. Oh, the moon card, like from today. And you tell them a little bit about the card, and then you tell them, keep that. My information's on the back if you ever need a session. Brilliant and cheap. And no, I did not invent this. Somebody else in the guild taught us this 20 some years ago, folks. And I've been doing it ever since. It is the coolest thing. It's great at parties. Walk around in the party, rather than, and hypnotherapists do this too. People find out you're a hypnotherapist, or they find out you're a tarot reader at a party. You are instantly the most interesting person in the room, but you're not going to do a full hypnosis session in a party. Likewise, as a reader, I'm there to enjoy myself. I'm not doing readings for people. But if they find out, and you have a couple of these decks, I would recommend, buying like 3 or 4 of them really cheap. And so you have all these decks, you have like a few hundred cards with the stickers on the back, and you have it in your purse or pocket. And, at the party, just go around, hey, pick a card, tell them something about the card. There, you did a quick reading for them, and tell them, hey, my information's on the back if you want to get in contact with me.
Interesting.
Great idea. Now we're going to move on to with other tips.
Decks. You don't have to buy those cards either. I mean, every tarot reader I know has got decks where one card's missing or one card's damaged, or pull that card out, those cards out that are damaged. Do the stickers on the rest of them, and you don't even have to hand them to people. You can leave them laying in strategic places.
You could do that too. Yeah.
You would be amazed people that will at least email you and say, hey, I found your card. Did you want it back? No, actually, it's for you. And this is what it says. And oh. So yeah.
I love that.
Even when you're out and about, you're at a coffee house, you take three of your cards and you just lay them out on the counter or somewhere, or you're at a bookstore or anywhere. You're out anywhere, and
Starbucks.
and by the way, that leads in very nicely into the next part of the discussion where we're going to talk about in-person readings, starting off with stores like bookstores. There are still metaphysical bookstores out there. Not as many as there used to be. Usually in major cities, there might be one near you or like a nearby city. And one of the great things you can do is go check it out and find out, do they need readers? And sometimes they have readers in the bookstore. Other times, they folks that come into the bookstore, they have it set up with a bunch of readers to do online readings, you know. And there's a few considerations with that. Obviously, the pricing might be lower. There's a kickback to the store owner. There's a lot of factors to consider. Also, depending on the layout of the store, a lot of stores won't necessarily have like a back room that you could go do a private reading in. So you have to kind of adjust your style and be okay with, being at a table out here in the store. In fact, there might be 2 or 3 readers, one or two in addition to you at different tables in a bookstore doing readings out in the open. And if you're not comfortable with that, don't do that. But if you want to, you could become comfortable and just, try to get used to it, because you're going to have the other people talking. You're going to be surrounded by people talking. And in a lot of other venues, that is another consideration, because I always suggest independent coffee houses, not necessarily Starbucks. You can leave your cards in Starbucks, and run out. No, but leave a few cards. If you don't have any other coffee house in town but Starbucks, you could see if you could get away with doing it there. But the great thing with independent coffee houses is it's owned by an independent person that you can actually talk to and say, hey, I'm going to bring business into the coffee house, and would you mind if I sit at a table and quietly talk, with my clients? And then there's pubs, spas, hair salons, restaurants.
Parties.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And again, at all these locations, drop off some cards. Also, get people onto your list. Somebody sees you doing readings, they come over, they get a reading from you. You want to get them on your email list.
Yeah.
And, you want to get them doing referrals for you. Again, back to the referrals are king, email is king. Those are the 2 things. And you can, they might get a quick reading with you at a location, but then they might want a longer reading with you, which you can do over Zoom and charge a lot more for.
Dax, I have a practical question.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think also when you're dealing with an email list is how workable is like MailChimp, for example. How easy or difficult is it to learn how to use something like MailChimp? That's one of the things that I've run into and trying to figure out, because it's not going to be something like Microsoft or Google Docs or something like that. So my question is more practical about, do you know of easy to use, what do you call what was it, email type software that people can
Right.
test out?
Well, I use MailChimp and I use a couple other ones, but MailChimp is the easiest out of all the ones I use. But I've got another solution for you.
Okay.
And this is going back old school, because
Okay.
guys, there wasn't always these wonderful programs that we have today. I mean, you could get high level and set all that up, but it's going to cost you $90 a month,
Right.
and you can also build your website on there and do campaign and funnels and all this kind of stuff. Guys, you don't need that when you're starting out. When you're starting out, remember the person writing down their email address at the psychic fair. You're doing a psychic fair. It's like, oh, leave me your email. I'll send you some great emails. You're going to put that on a list, on a document on your computer. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the email and a comma, space, next email, comma, space, next email, comma, space. And so you're going to have all these emails, because in the beginning, you're not going to have hundreds and thousands of email addresses. You're going to have
Right.
maybe 50 to 100. Okay. That you can do on a document. And then what you do is you separate them out every 10. You make blocks of 10 going down. And here you go, Rose, the free, simple way to do this. You write an email in whatever program you use. Let's say you're on Yahoo or you're on Gmail. You write out the email, and you might want to write that out on a separate document. Copy and paste it into your email program. The to space, you're going to just send it back to yourself. You put your email address in there, and then you copy that first block of 10, and you hit on BCC, blind carbon copy, and you just pop it in there and you send the email. Then you open another email, paste in your text, put your email address in the to spot in the BCC, the next 10, pop them in there, send, repeat, repeat. And, after 3, 4, 5 emails, you've emailed your entire list without having to have a complicated system. Because, by the way, I use now, let me tell you, and I got to keep, going over to different things because on my computer here, because I don't have all this stuff memorized. I still use MailChimp for my American Legion post and the church and a lot of places, but I use MailerLite now. I use MailerLite. It is awesome, and it's free. Again, up to I don't know how many thousands of subscribers before you have to start paying for it, and then it's not really that expensive. Okay, but it's a very easy, it's even easier than MailChimp to use. Okay. And what I'm going to say about that, though, is that there's all kinds of A/B testing, and there's different ways to create your emails. There's HTML, there's rich text editor, there's blocks where you're pulling in things and putting in images and stuff like that. It's too much work for the average person,
Mhm.
So I send out email blasts, for instance, to the Post, and for the American Legion, I send out email blasts for Psychic Cafe, and I go in and I do all that. I create the email list and everything. But it is for the average person, especially starting out, it's not worth it. Do it old school. Just copy and paste. It has to be, the email addresses have to be separated by a comma, space, the next email address, comma, space, the next email address. And just do them in blocks of 10. So if you have 40 contacts, you'll have 4 blocks. You have 50 contacts, you'll have 5 blocks. You have 60 contacts, you'll have 6 blocks. Copy and pasting real quick and sending out 6 emails manually through Gmail or whatever email program you use. Very easy, very simple, not complicated. You won't get lost in all of the technology on these fancy mailer systems. If you want, if you are a little technically literate, I would say start out with either MailChimp or MailerLite.
I was just thinking about what you said about Google, and
Yeah.
because there's a Google Contacts that you can do where you can create your list, and then you can
Oh,
do that
okay.
too. You can
Yeah,
put all
yeah.
your
There are
all the
groups.
emails there, and send it out that way as a blind
Yeah, I
copy.
forgot about that. That there,
Right.
because I just do this stuff old school. I have all the lists like I described on a document on my computer.
Right.
But I know that, for instance, our adjutant at the American Legion Post, in his Gmail, he has exactly like how I did it, but he has the email lists added to lists on his Gmail, where when he goes into create a compose an email, right? He copies and paste the body of the text in, and then up in the where to, as soon as he starts typing, group one pops up and he just clicks and boom, it's in there. And then he recreates another email and he goes group two, because you don't want to send out 100 emails in blind carbon copy. You will get dinged by Gmail. They will freak out, because they're not a mass mailing system,
right?
Like MailChimp, or so you have to do it smart, do 5 to 10 emails at a time. And you can set up those groups in Gmail and a lot of other basic services, and you can just start typing the address, group one, and click, and boom, all those emails go in there, and you just send it off, and then you do the next one. So that's the easy way to do it. Oh, we are rapidly running out of time. So I'm going to say, let's speed this up a little bit. So we already talked about spas, hair salons, pubs, independent coffee houses. You can talk to the owners. It's a win-win for you and for them. It brings people in. Psychic fairs, in-person psychic fairs. Again, you want to have your business cards, your email list. There's a lot of details that we can't go into today because of time about psychic fairs. Maybe we'll do a whole show on just psychic fairs. But I know in the past, Pamela's given some suggestions, and Corby has a whole book on this, folks.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And I don't have it in my show notes. Otherwise I pop it in there, but I'll get that for you guys later.
And don't be afraid of the nose, because the nose,
what's a nose? What are you talking about?
Because
the people that say no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, saying no. Yes.
Yeah, because I live in a really small town, and there are churches literally on every corner. And there were one metaphysical store, and it finally went out of business. The apothecary went out of business. The Fallon Psychic went out of business. So it's really hard, and you get a lot of no's sometimes, but don't let that stop you.
I got a question about that. But first, before I ask about, what are you talking about with the nose? I want to say we're about to go into online suggestions. And this is the thing. It doesn't matter if you're in, Podunk, Ohio, Iowa, in a tiny town with 100 people in it. If you have an internet connection, you can be a professional reader. We're just giving the in-person suggestions for people that want to grow their business locally. Yes. Referrals are the best thing, and in-person referrals are even better than online referrals. But you do both. But I don't want to go off on a tangent here. We got a lot more information to get through, and it's already we're 40 minutes in. So but real quick, Michelle, I'm not sure what you mean about the no's. When are you getting a no?
When you go in and talk to certain business owners
okay. I thought you were talking about, getting clients, and because that's what we're talking about right now, is getting clients, and you offer your services and they say no. It's like, well, they wouldn't come to you if they would. I'm like, what is she talking about? No. Of course. If you're in a decent sized city and you've got all these day spas and hair salons and pubs and coffee houses are the best thing. I started out in coffee houses in Seattle, San Francisco, and San Diego, and Phoenix too, Tucson. Best places, best things you can do, especially because they're independently owned, and you can talk to the owners, and work something out. Maybe you can do readings there for free, because you're going to be bringing people in. But yes, obviously people are going it won't be a fit for some businesses. They might not think it's a fit, and they may say no. It's not a big deal. When people say no, that is only feedback that that's not the place. That's all it is. And you just go to the next one. Okay, let's get going through this because we're running out of time here. So the last thing on my list for in-person is psychic parties and group readings,
Yes.
which you can do on and offline. But I'm talking specifically about somebody is hosting a party and they're hiring you to come in. And why this is a great idea. First of all, you're going to be able to build your email list because you're everybody at that party, you're going to get their email address. You're going to grow your email list. And also, it's a great way to make $200+ for an hour and a half of work. You're going to do short 10-minute rapid succession readings, unless they want you to be there for 5 hours and they're going to pay you now $500-$600, But yeah, the average starts off at 200 and goes up from there, and plus travel expenses. So if you have to travel there, you're going to charge them so much per mile, and you're going to be able to write all of this off on your business forms. And by the way, taxes and everything. By the way, we're doing a whole show on that. And I'm going to tell you about, it's like a mini class, and I'm going to be telling you about that in a few minutes here when we get to upcoming shows. But yes, in person, that is a great way to start out too. And if you think about it, we're limited by the number of clients we can see. And we can, if we're spending a half hour, 40 minutes with a client, up to an hour with each client, we can only do X number per day. And we have to charge a decent amount of money. Remember, the going average, $3 per minute. With psychic parties, you're getting a lot more money up front for the same hour and a half. So if I was going to spend an hour, I would never do an hour and a half, single you can mostly a half hour, 40 minutes, you can do most readings, up to maybe an hour if you're a talker or your client's a talker. And you might be charging $99 or $60 or whatever it is you're charging. For the same amount of time, you're going to be making a lot more, $200+, for an hour and a half or 2 hours, maybe more. You might want to think three. If you're going to do 2 hours, you might start thinking in the $300-$400 range, $350. So it's a great way to start out and get your business going and get referrals, because you're going to do these quick little readings with them at the party and have fun. It's all about fun. It's not about, serious readings, but those people are going to take your card that you give them with your information on the back. They're going to get on your email list, and they might buy longer online readings. And speaking of online, let's get into the online stuff. Unless anybody has anything to say about psychic parties. I know a lot of people can't stand doing psychic parties. Other people, that's all they do. They wait for Halloween and they book 20 of them, and they come dressed up in their shawl and their turban or their garb, and you got the earrings. And
you peaked. That's what you did. You were peaking.
He's a peeping Dak.
I said yes.
So as far as online, that's where it is. I mean, 98% of my readings are online now. Of course, you can go with reading services, Random, Keen, Psychic, California Psychics, all of those online reading services. They're great because they are doing all this massive advertising, bringing clients to you. Now, this is not to say you don't start that email list and you don't do referrals. That's still number one. But reading services can be really good. Now, you're going to have to up your prices. Remember, they're taking 50, 60 or more percent, but I'm not saying that's a negative, because you are helping them pay for the advertising to bring you the clients. What you got to do, though, is you've got to calculate it out in your head. Remember, I said the going rate, $3 a minute for an in-person reading. Now, online, if you're going through a service, if they're taking 50%, okay, that's got to be $5.99 a minute now for you to get the amount you want. Okay. And if you're good with just $2 a read, maybe you do $4.99 a minute. I've seen $5.99. I've seen $9.99 a minute. Some of these services let you charge whatever you want. Others cap out, at $9.99 per minute. Now, it's getting harder and harder to get into these services. There's periods of time where Keen stops taking applications. They just have too many readings. Same thing with California Psychics, which, and they do evaluation processes, and it's a lot more difficult to get in. A random, not so much. It's easy to get into a random. What I love about a random is, unlike some of the other services, although some of them are bringing on video, Keen is still pretty much doing phone calls with people, which is perfectly fine. But video is where it's at. People want to see you.
Right.
And the way that a random does it is you're already on cam. Think about, you're going to work for 8 hours at a business in your cubicle, right? And you take breaks, of course, but you're there for 8 hours. That's what you're doing. You're sitting there in your cubicle, only you're at home, and you're on camera, and you're doing a show like we're doing right now. And you may talk about numerology, you may talk about individual cards, you may talk about your reading process. Sometimes you might not be talking. You might just have music playing in the background, and you're just sitting there, and you have a little earbud in your ear, and you're watching a movie, but you're still on camera. And then but the you still want to, every 20 minutes say something. The thing is, people are coming on and they're looking at all the different psychics and watching them in their rooms on video and audio, obviously, and they're getting to know you.
Right.
And then they're deciding to push the button, and then they take you into a private session where you're getting paid per minute then. So I love a random, but all the other ones are really great too. Some people, Kazamba, a lot of people, in fact, a previous Tarot Guild member actually owns Kazama now.
Oh, wow.
And it's phenomenal. It's a great way to get things going while you're building your referrals, your email list,
right?
Doing some psychic parties, doing some dates at spas and pubs and hair salons and bookstores and metaphysical bookstores, just to supplement, just to get things going, get some money coming in the door, get practice doing a lot of readings. It's great for beginners. And then, eventually your referrals will be so good that you don't need to be on a reading service, and you don't need to be giving them a portion of your income.
Right.
The next
Dax, I was going to add that some of those sites now are offering readings through chat. They've gotten a little bit more inventive now, because a lot of young people like to text and whatnot. So that's an opportunity too.
A random was the first one to bring on chat, and I think Keen has it now. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But a lot of them. So telephone is the still dominant. You can do chat sessions. And by the way, I do manual chat sessions, meaning once I've done a video reading like this on Zoom with a client, a lot of times clients will send me a text, or send me not a text, but a message on Facebook Messenger, and they'll say, "You got time for a quick reading?" And I'm like, right. Sure. And they'll say, "Send me the link," and I'll send them the link. They'll click, they'll pay. It pops up on my phone that they paid. And I usually then switch from my phone to my computer, because I like typing on a computer more than I like.
Mm-hmm.
And I can send pictures real quick. I'll send pictures of cards, and I'll just be typing on Facebook Messenger for 10, 15, 20 minutes with a client and answer their questions and pull cards. And it's great. I like it. I can be in my jammies, and I don't have to talk to them on the phone.
Right.
I'm not a big phone person. I don't like talking to you on the phone.
I got a keyboard for my phone.
I mean, if it's prearranged, I love that. Great idea, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
If it's prearranged, yeah. If it's prearranged, that's great. I'm going to call you at such and such a time. Mm-hmm. But, most phone calls come through my phone. I let it go into voicemail. And if it's important, they'll leave a voicemail. I'll call them back, or I'll text them back, most likely. because I just don't like talking on telephones. Now, a Zoom call,
Dax,
I love.
before we get too crazy here, can you put together a list of the reading services like we were just talking about?
Sure.
Mm.
And because right now you've listed off at least four that I've never heard of. All right.
Put out a list of
Yeah. Like
services.
for the guild or the cafe, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, it makes for a great article that I can put on the site for,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
There you
great
go.
content. By the way, this is a great idea of great content. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Right.
I'm not saying do an email or do a post on social media and an article and send people to reading services and you make no money. I'm not that,
Well, we talked
but
about doing this
this
through
is
the
the
guild one
idea.
time about a year ago. We were talking about actually setting up our own reading
Right.
service here at the Tarot
Mm.
Guild or Psychic
Exactly.
Cafe.
Yeah. And I still want to do that. And I still have different ways that we could physically do that. I have the technology and everything like that. It's just getting enough people on board. It never snowballed, and
Mm.
so and some of the people that really, 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 really wanted to do it, like Sharona and Catherine and some of our hosts that have left, they left. And so
Right.
it kind of died out. But if we can
We
get,
might get them back that way though.
yeah, and we're getting new members. We're like we just got
Yeah.
Jimmy in. If we can start getting new members in and all have a big conference where instead of the four of us here on Zoom, there's like 20 of us, and we could put our heads together and figure it out. Yeah, let's do our own.
Dax, this is the first time I've ever hearing about this. I didn't know
I've
you
been wanting
guys
to
were
do this
interested
for
in that.
15 years, and the
Okay, well, you got another
technology.
person on board for you.
Right. And see, the technology just wasn't there yet. I mean,
Right.
yes, there was the technology, and we're getting off on a tangent. We got to get back to the topic because we're running out of time here. But the the software was there, but it
Hmm.
cost thousands of dollars that I did not have to buy the software to set up a website like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right.
Actually,
Yeah.
at one time, going back 10, 12 years, we were actually doing it through Aranum. Aranum set up a white label website using the Aranum system. They still got their cut, but we also got a cut, and then the readers got a cut. So
Interesting.
we were signing up readers on Aranum through our group. We had a special group,
Ah. Hmm.
and then all the readings that they did funneled through our group. We got a small percentage, Aranum got their cut, and then of course the readers
We'd
got
have got
their cut.
that.
But we're trying to figure out a better way to do it, and I've got some software that it's already still installed. We're just not using it. So thanks for bringing that up, Pamela, and I'll try to get out a list of the services. By the way, if anybody has a favorite service, or because I haven't heard of most of them, to be honest with you, there are so many out there. Send me links to the services that you like.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
next, we talked about in-person psychic fairs, but a lot of places and a lot of people are putting on virtual psychic fairs and summits. For instance, Michelle
Hmm.
and Pamela, I think you did the summit in Florida too, right? It was in Florida, but it was Christiana Godet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The StarCon.
StarCon, yeah.
StarCon.
So
We did it
StarCon,
last year.
Yep.
StarCon is a great example of you can do a summit where you're not doing readings, you're doing a presentation or something, but
Right.
getting your name out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I just thought of something that's not on my list is, and write this down, put it on your list. Oh no, it is on the very, very bottom of my list. Haven't got to it yet. Write a book,
Yes.
publish a deck.
Mm-hmm.
And that also leads into the next thing on the list, which is get yourself booked as a guest on podcasts. Podcasts are dying for interesting guests,
Content. Yeah.
especially psychic related guests. Any woo-woo topic, or even like Reiki, hypnosis, NLP. They want that kind of guests that can talk about things that people are often unfamiliar with, or
Hmm.
Remember we did the show on, cool stories that and crazy stories that happen to readers with clients and things like that. They want stories. They want cool stuff like that. And it's a great way to get advertising. They're going to promote you, promote your website, promote your email list. And and you can get on dozens of them. You may want to take half a month where you go, okay, that's all I'm doing. Monday, I'm doing this. Wednesday, I'm doing that one. Thursday, this one. Saturday, this one. Next Monday, this one. And just do a bunch of podcasts and get yourself out there. And especially if you're launching a deck or a book, you want to get on hundreds of podcasts and just get it all out there. And what you're doing is you're leveraging other people's audiences. What I'm going to talk about right after this is building your own audience. But until you do that, leverage other people's audiences. Yes. For instance, we just had on Deborah Zachow, who has a wonderful YouTube channel. And we've been guests on each other's channels, and so she was a guest last Sunday here on Psychic Cafe. So she's leveraging our audience. We're leveraging her audience. And there's a lot of other people out there that will do this. And that leads me into creating your own audience. Actually, before I do that, let's do Etsy real quick. I'm not going to go into details about how to do readings on Etsy, but I did want to mention two things. One, Etsy, a lot of people sell a crap of readings on Etsy.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of details, which we don't have time to go into. I found a really great video about how to do readings on Etsy, and it goes into all the details, how you need to send out a recording because you need a physical product or downloadable product to be on Etsy, and all the ins and outs and mistakes and things to look out for is all in this video. And it's on psychic.cafe. If you go over right now to www, let me bring that up. I haven't done it all show here. Website link. I had Decode Tarot in there for when we had
Deborah
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, that's the summer sale. I'm just messing up here. I'm trying to find out where I can take off that. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So there's the URL. Go to Psychic Cafe, psychic.cafe. And if you scroll down the video, right now at time of recording, the video is like a couple down on the page. You can also, if you find me, go to my page. And this might even be easier, folks. Just go to psychic.cafe/DAX. And when you come on my profile, click videos, and it'll be the first video on there. And you'll be able to watch this video and learn all about doing readings on Etsy. And we may do our own video on that in the future. And then now I want to go into building your own following and everything, your own audiences and so forth like that online. Of course, social media. You want to get on the social medias. Do you need to be on every social media right away? Probably not. In fact, it's better to say I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing Facebook, or I'm only doing Instagram, and get really, really masterful at one platform and then expand out. YouTube, honest to God, if you came to me and say where to start, I would say start with YouTube.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is many, 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 many fold, but YouTube now does more shorts and more videos than any other platform. So even though you hear all the win stories, oh, I went on Etsy, not Etsy, I'm sorry. Oh, wow, that's cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's Mac. Mac has that.
Love Mac.
I love it.
What was I talking about? I got mixed up with Etsy. No, I'm talking about social media platforms. Okay, Instagram. What's
YouTube.
the other one? What's the other one? Not YouTube.
YouTube.
The other one.
TikTok.
LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Okay.
Right.
They don't do nearly what YouTube does. They're not searchable like YouTube is. For every story of people doing great on TikTok, There are 1,000 people that tried it and it didn't work. You don't hear about those. You see, uh, your posts last a day or less on those platforms, whereas videos, whether they're shorts or even better, the longer form, which is 5 minutes and higher, up to 30 minutes or an hour, they last forever on YouTube.
Right.
And all the evidence shows that you get more engagement and click through, and people are, yeah, you're going to get 1 million views of your Instagram reel or your TikTok reel or whatever, but they're not going to translate into people pushing a button and buying from you. You know, maybe later on you try those platforms and try to get more traffic back to YouTube. Start with YouTube right now, and if do a search for tarot and psychic readings, and you're going to come across channels that have 150,000 subscribers, and these people are making bank off people buying individual readings from them, from these people. You never see their face. All you see is a face down camera shot
Right.
of their hands and their cards and their pretty fingernails. If you're ladies, you can really do it because you can do the pretty fingernails. And they're getting thousands, tens of thousands of views per video, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and all they're doing is laying out some cards and doing readings. And so others are doing it by astrological sign. And I've been threatening for years to do it by life path number, because no one's doing that. It's like, okay, my life path twos, here's your cards, and pull out cards.
One of
And
the I was going to step in just a little bit.
please.
One of the things for social media platforms, as you had indicated about YouTube, is that video is king when it comes to content on social media platforms. And what I've been looking at is what people are doing on their lives, because you can go live on YouTube. TikTok, you can also go live, but I believe
And
you
Instagram.
have to have a certain number of followers. Some of the platforms have that, so you want to, that's something you'll have to work on.
Yeah.
But you can do lives. I've seen plenty of people. It's like having your own arena, right? So you're not paying arena money
Yeah.
or losing anything, but
But
you go
so
on
is what
live,
we're
you can do
doing
free, yeah,
right
like
now.
exactly what we're doing. You can do free readings and things of that nature. So, that's one of
I
the
got to tell you
another advantage
something.
too.
Some of the younger and even not so younger, like Christiana Gaudet, um, certified tarot grandmaster Christiana Gaudet, and I'm trying to think of some of the other ones off the top of my head, and I'm drawing a blank right now. But
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of them, they do lives
Hmm.
continuously
Hmm.
every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every Monday, Thursday, Saturday. They're on there doing a live on Instagram,
Hmm.
and they don't even do the other platforms, and they're doing great. A lot of them have started doing, though I've noticed that, and these are some of the big wigs in tarot,
Hmm.
are doing Instagram. I've noticed that some of them, though, are doing YouTube now too, and
Hmm.
often they'll have their phone recording them on Instagram over here, and another camera over here that's
Yeah,
feeding into YouTube, and they're live on
on
multiple
both
platforms.
platforms, right? Yeah.
Now, there is software that will allow you to do that. I don't know if you can stream directly from software to Instagram. That's a technical thing we'll have to look at. Most
Mhm.
people are not bothering to use, at least in the tarot space, are not bothering to use that technology. What they're doing instead is they're simply going live on Instagram as it was meant to be done.
Right.
Same thing with TikTok. They're doing it on their phone,
Hmm.
and they just have a cheap holder that clips onto their desk that holds their phone aimed at them. They go live on Instagram, and then they're live on YouTube, and they'll look back and forth between the two cameras because there's going to be obviously a different angle,
Hmm.
and they have chats going on both.
Right.
Or they'll say to my Instagram, you'll look over at Instagram, to my Instagram followers, If you want to chat with me, I'm chatting on YouTube. So switch over to YouTube,
Right.
and they'll bring people over to the YouTube chat. But yes, you want to build your own audience, and it's perfect that you, because that's where I was going to next, Rose, when you mentioned about it's like a random,
Right.
only you're not paying a random. Because why is a random better than all the other ones that are still stuck on the phone? I'll tell you why. It's because of the video. And
Right.
and it's because they get to what? Know, like, and trust you.
That's
And
right.
people buy from people. If you're just a picture on a website with 150 other psychics, it's pure luck that they click you.
Right.
But if they're watching you on Instagram and YouTube and they get to know you, and by the way, that's another reason to join the guild and, become a host here on the network, because people have gotten to know Michelle and Pamela and Rose and Ellie, and they're getting business off this. And see, where was I going to go with that? Now I forgot where I was going to go with that. But the main thing is, oh, I know what I wanted to say. I wanted to say is not everybody's going to like you.
Right.
And you don't want that anyway on social media. And so you got to get in the frame of mind where you think, okay, I'm not going for the people that don't like my voice, don't like how I look. See, a lot of people, I think where I'm going with this is a lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there. And they don't like the way they look on camera. They don't like the way they sound on camera. And guys, none of us do. But but this is except for Rose, because she's gorgeous on there. But
I appreciate the love.
And Michelle too, especially she does all these fancy blouses and
I
everything.
try. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pamela's in a wife beater, but
yeah, but I need to see. I was just typing. I need to see what her shirt says. Touch my coffee and I will drink it from your skull.
Oh my God, that's the perfect show for the Psychic Cafe.
That is.
Yes,
we're all about the
I
coffee.
love it. Yes.
Okay, so we're almost done here. Just to finish up with that. So, they don't like how they look. They have stage fright. If you need help with that, I do hypnosis. They don't like their voice. They don't like the way they look and everything. And why? Why? Well, some people might not like me. It doesn't matter. You're not trying to attract those people.
Right.
There will be people that dislike you. They'll hate your voice. They don't like the way you dress. They don't like, what your face or your makeup or your hair looks like. None of that matters, because you will, trust me, you will attract people that love your personality, that love the way you look, that love your voice. And they want to come and watch you, and they will want to get readings from you. And you're building content, So don't be afraid to get started on YouTube and, or do a podcast. It could be an audio. Maybe you don't want to be on camera, do an audio podcast even, But what I'm going to say is that's why we're here. That's what the Psychic Cafe is about. The Psychic Cafe is not just a website. It's the official website for the Tarot Guild, but it's also this YouTube channel. And everybody you see here and all the hosts that you've seen over the last 15 years and the ones that have gone off and done their own thing, they all got their start here, because we've been doing this for 16 years. And so we've done the learning curve. And so you can learn from us. We can tell you all the ins and outs of doing audio podcasts, because we started out audio only. And there's a phone. And we can teach you now about, audio visual, YouTube, Instagram, wherever and however you want to start out. But you can start out here on Psychic Cafe. Michelle does her own custom show, Michelle's Mystic Corner, every Saturday. Well, second, third, and fourth Saturdays. And then we have the Psychic Cafe shows on Sundays, where everyone's welcome to join us up here on cam. Get your feet wet, you
Mm-hmm.
know, try out doing readings. Maybe you've never done long distance readings. Maybe you've only done in-person ones, you know, do readings for people in the chat and so forth like that. So come join us. And the last thing I'm going to mention is, because we're talking about, you know, getting clients and so forth, the thing I harp on a lot, multiple streams of income.
Right.
Don't just rely on getting clients and doing readings.
Right.
That's why I
Right.
saved this to last, because this whole discussion was on getting clients, both online and offline, but really there's a lot more to it. So get your life coaching certification. It's going to help you. It's going to be a great foundation for your tarot readings and psychic advisor sessions. But you could do completely non-psychic, non-tarot life coaching with folks, business coaching, success coaching, relationship coaching. Become a hypnotist, become certified as a hypnotist or a Reiki practitioner or see, an NLP practitioner. So have these other tools in your tool, EFT, emotional freedom techniques. That is great to know, because even in a tarot session with somebody, in fact, in-person ones, I always have my Kleenex box that I push over towards them, you know. And if they're going to start to, you know, get emotional or whatever, and if you find blocks, emotional blocks, or they get emotional, you can bring them down and you can knock out blocks with EFT. So it's a great tool to have in your tool belt, along with life coaching, hypnotherapy, Reiki, NLP, and another other streams of income is like, if you're also and you know, we teach numerology with tarot, so you're also become a numerologist when you take my course, and you can create numerology charts for clients in addition to doing readings. If you're an astrologer, you can create charts for them, um, write a book, publish a deck, do classes and workshops. So think of other streams of income, because it's not, you know, doing clients one by one, or even parties, you know, and psychic fairs. It's not necessarily, and especially in the beginning, it's not necessarily going to be steady. Okay. So until you get those referrals going, until you get that email list filled in and getting those emails out there and you're getting clients, these other streams of income can help you a lot. So you're building a YouTube channel, and maybe you're selling some related affiliate products that you're an affiliate for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of ways to do multiple streams of income. So Michelle, Pamela, Rose, what, if anything else you want to throw in there, ideas, online, in person, multiple streams of income? Anybody got some suggestions?
I was going to say, what was I going to say? There are other things that you can also sell that are really simple to use, like your
Mm,
3 best tips on, you know, anything like having the best tarot reading experience, or
mm.
these are the cards you want to use these are the 5 cards you want to use in your meditation to manifest your dream life, or something like that. Those are things that you can also, you know, type up, go to Canva
Mm.
or whatever other platform similar to Canva to create a nice like header or whatnot with your name and your website or email address, and your phone number, your Google phone number, and you can sell that too. I mean, that could be like $7.99. People love to,
Sure.
you know, it doesn't have to be expensive like $100. It could be $7.99 just for very simple things, you
I'm
know.
I'm going to suggest, though, a couple of the things that you just said are actually better as free loss leaders to get
Yeah,
people on your email list.
yeah, yes,
So you give out a free quick PDF on a checklist of how to prepare for your next psychic reading.
yes, that's true.
And they you know, go here, here's the link. They go there, they put their email address in. Now they're on your email list.
Right,
And
right.
they get their free door prize, their free loss leader. There's different things people call them, you know, but do a lot of, you know, I would at least have a few of those that you can put out there, and it's free. But yes, you can still, create PDFs, uh, audio presentations, a series of 5 to 10 minute videos that teaches something that you
Right. And even if you don't
for like
have, let's say, the
$9.
money to do that, you could, if you have a YouTube channel, one of the best things about YouTube, you could create a private playlist. So
Mhm.
someone, YouTube, you can monetize it, but it takes a while to get to
Mhm.
there if you don't have a lot of videos or a lot of followers or views or whatnot. But you can create a private playlist and say, here
Right.
are my 5 tips for, whatever, or here's some information, and whoever has the link could, be able to watch it if you wanted to do something that way. It just kind of depends
Yeah.
upon how you want to do it. You could offer it for free, or you could offer it as something that's more of a paid thing if you're able to do that. But Dax, one of
So,
I had one
oh
more
wait,
thing.
before you
Oh,
go to that, hold your thought. Before you go
okay.
to that, I got to tag on to what you just said, just so people know that aren't technical. So when you go into YouTube and you create a playlist, you set the playlist as not private, but unlisted.
Right.
So it doesn't show on your YouTube channel, but with a private one, they're not going to, unless you give them access, they're not going to be able to view that. You might do that for paid. But if you have a YouTube list, a playlist of videos that you're doing as a loss leader, anybody you send the link to will be able to go to it, but no one else will be able to find it. So
Right.
there's public, private, and then between public and private on the list, you can choose unlisted.
Yes.
Unlist the videos, unlist the playlist.
Right.
Both. When you upload the video, mark unlisted. When you create the playlist, mark unlisted on the playlist. Just a little thing. And what was the last one you had?
The last thing I was going to just recommend, because this has been such a I would say like a dense topic. I mean, there's a lot of information
Yes,
on
I did
all of
not
these
actually
things and what
expect
to
this.
do and whatnot. But I recommend that, in the future, in some of our future shows, is to take just one
One
part
of these.
of
Yeah.
that and talk about, like, I didn't even know there were psychic parties. I mean, I understand that it makes sense, but I had never thought about that. So I would
Yeah.
love to hear more about that, or going, or what do you do at fairs? And we should
Yeah.
take those as separate topics to talk about in the
And we have.
future.
We've already done shows on parties. We've done shows on
Oh,
psychic
really?
parties.
Okay. Then I need to do
Yes.
a search.
But we need to redo them all again, because
Right.
it's been a while, and there might
Hmm.
be, and we had different hosts back then, so we'll get new perspectives, new ideas. Each one of these points that I have on my list here definitely can be a completely separate topic for a show, and a shorter topic. Like we've taken the whole show and never gotten to the chat room. I apologize to the people in chat. This happens sometimes when we do topics on Sundays. We may not get to readings, but that's
Yeah.
why there's the next show. Yeah, and we don't always want to do readings on every show. I was actually intending on getting to readings, because
Hmm.
my idea was, I've got what, maybe 15 lines here. I was just going to read them all off, and it's like, okay, let's do readings. I didn't know it was going to be this in depth. And yes,
Yeah.
every single one of these, I mean, just talking about like how to get yourself as a guest on a podcast,
Yes.
the different reading services, the ins and outs of, it's different working on Aranim than it is on California Psychics, as it is on Keen, as it is on Kazamba, and actually getting into them,
Right.
how to get accepted. YouTube is like 15 shows,
Right.
on its own. And even talking about, how to work with getting yourself into spas and bookstores, metaphysical bookstores, into psychic fairs and pubs and coffee houses, all the in-person stuff. There's a lot to each one of these. There is, yeah. But I think we're going to leave it at that. And congratulations again to Jimmy, who now has his membership certificate. Guys, let me just tell you a couple of quick things, and that is, you saw it earlier. The Sizzling Summer Sale is still going on. Memberships, tarot the tarot course, certification, and readings, just use the coupon code summer 2025 at checkout. So when you go to the checkout page and you're going to put in your credit card information or whatever, PayPal, whatever, Apple Pay, you're going to see ad coupon. Just type in summer 2025. It'll take 20% off your purchase. Okay. And then real quickly, the next show is this right? It's going to be Crown. Is it already Crown Share Saturday, Michelle?
Yes. Can you believe that?
Holy cow. I can't believe that. August 23rd, next Saturday. Bring your deck. Again, Jimmy, new member, and any other members, you can join us all live on camera. Rose, Pamela, anybody that wants to join us. And we do Michelle pulls cards, but then we pull cards too. And she has a card for the show, and we use that card plus cards that we pull together. It's a really neat system, and we all raise each other's crowns, and that's the idea there. And then
she has a crown on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And
I
then,
like that card. Yeah.
that Sunday, so a week from today, Sunday, August 24th, it's that old topic of another free reading request. So how to go from free reading requests to paid clients. So we're going to have some ideas on, because if you're out there on social media, especially, and then again with your email list, even, you're going to get people contacting you, can I get a free reading about blah, blah, blah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how to nip that in the bud. Yes. Pamela, you have to show up if you can next Sunday because you're the best nip it in the bud person I know.
Me? Really?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed.
And then I'm going to mention the Sunday, August 30th show only because that brings us to the end of August, and there's no show. There's a fifth Saturday. We're not going to do a show on the fifth Saturday because there's also a fifth Sunday. So I decided, okay, we're just going to do the Sunday show. All right. And it's going to be doing business as a psychic or tarot advisor. This is the one that I mentioned earlier. We're going to talk about the business side because we're all atrocious at this, about how to set yourself up as a business. You got to pick, am I going to be an LLC? Am I going to be a sole proprietor? Am I going to be a C Corp? How am I going to do my taxes? What can I write off on my taxes? What licenses do I need? All of these business topics that we don't really want to work on and talk about, but we really should. You got to start thinking of, if you're a professional reader, you got to think of it as you're doing a business. And marketing. Maybe you can help with that, Rose, if you're available next Sunday.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's the 80-20 rule. You are 80%. And yes, we're still celebrating. I didn't mean to do that. I pushed the wrong button. Yes, we're still celebrating 20 years of the Tarot. But now I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying, guys?
Celebrating 20 years of
no, about the business thing.
Starting your own business. I think you were just talking about
starting your own business is the 80-20 rule. That's what I was talking about. And I got interrupted by the wrong slide. The 80-20 rule is that your service, your product, whatever it is that's going out to a client, that's only 20%. 80% of it is you getting the client, and that is marketing, promotion, content, and operating the business, keeping books,
right. That's important,
or having QuickBooks on your computer or what have you, however it is that you do it, but we'll talk about things like, do you need insurance? What kind of insurance would you get? Do you need to be an LLC, or is it okay to just be a sole proprietorship? What are the risks by not being an LLC or a C Corp? we're going to go into all of that on the 30th. It's going to be great if you're wanting to go pro. Amanda in the chat says, I love research and learning. I would love to learn about the business side. There you go.
There we
Okay, are we
go.
talking about the 30th? Because
I
I'm
believe here, let me hold on, let me bring up let
that's a
me
Saturday, and I'm at a psychic fair.
no let me bring it up. I think I just did a mistake there. Okay, hold on, let me look at my calendar. Oh, geez. I'm sorry. I have the wrong date on my list here. Sunday, August 31st. Yeah. Okay.
31st,
So
yeah.
we're not doing a show on Saturday the 30th. We're doing business as a psychic or tarot reader on Sunday, the August 31st.
I can be there.
Oh, good. Yay. Awesome sauce. And then we're into September already. Oh my God. We got some great stuff like where do runes come from? Yeah, Michelle's gonna be starting to get into all about runes. There you go,
Oh,
Pam.
wow.
It's gonna be up your alley, Pamela. She's gonna do a
Yeah, I'll be calling you, Pamela. Help me.
yeah, because she's gonna be
No
doing
problem.
she's gonna be doing a
No
show
worry.
on the 13th on where do runes come from, on the 20th rune basics, and then on the 27th her regular crown share Saturday. On our shows on Sundays, the 14th, we're going to do 99 questions to ask the tarot, how to ask a good question. On the 21st, we're going to do how many readings are too many readings? And then on September 28th, we're going to talk about shorter readings. It's a new fad where, because of the attention span of people, especially, Gen Z and stuff like that, Gen Y or whatever, um, people, a lot of professional readers are getting into much, much shorter readings. So we're just going to give that a little whirl. That'll be a real short conversation, though. Real short one there. Okay, so we've gone way over. Thanks everybody for being here, and thanks to my fabulous co-host here for being with
Yay.
me. It was a fun show.
It
Apologize
was.
apologize to everybody in the chat that we didn't get to questions. I really didn't think it was going to go this long, folks. That otherwise I would not have. We announced, put your questions in or ask for a general in the chat, and I would not have announced that in the beginning of the show if I thought it was going to go this long. But it's been great. I hope you got a lot out of it. I got a lot out of it. I learned things that I didn't know. So there you go. All righty. So we'll be back next Saturday with Michelle. What is your show again? It is Crown Share Saturday.
Crown Share Saturday.
Yeah. And so if you're a member, you can join us on the Zoom. You can join Michelle on the Zoom. That's right. That's right. All right.
And I'll pull a card for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll use that. I love Pam's reaction. And then we'll
Like,
use
that
this
is
card
Pamela.
and
That
any
is
card you
Pamela.
pull. It is, right? It's Pam. And then we'll pull
That
any
is
card
her.
we pull, and we'll answer all the questions in the chat.
It looks so much like her.
It
All
does.
righty. Let's get
Look at
out of
this
here.
beautiful card. Bye, Pam.
See you on Saturday. I'll see you next week too.
Bye,
Sunday.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.